when a high priest heard Jesus' answer, he did a very interesting thing. He tore his clothes. Why would he tear his clothes? Well, the Old Testament culture was that the tearing of robes was a sign of grief and shock. We read in Job chapter 1, when Job found out that he had lost all of his possessions and all 10 kids of his were killed in a firestorm, it says Job stood up and tore his robe in grief. Now, the interesting thing is that under the Old Covenant law, high priests were not allowed to tear their robes. They were forbidden to do that. Leviticus chapter 21 says, "And the high priest, one among his brothers, who has the anointing oil poured on his head, who has been ordained to wear the priestly garments, must not let his hair become unkempt," which was a sign of grief, "or tear his clothes." And what does the high priest do? He tears his clothes. Why not? Why shouldn't a high priest tear his clothes? You know why? Because he, of all people in the Old Covenant, had direct access to God. He didn't have to do that. He could come into the very presence of God and communicate with that. Well, you know, Caiaphas had no relationship with God at all, obviously. We can see that.